This video is sponsored by Safeguard, specialist insurance for your motorhome. Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan, and today I'm at the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Broadway site with a new Benimar. Now, it's been a while since I've tested a Benimar, but this is the latest 2026 specification Mileo. In fact, the Mileo 286. Mileo is the top of the Benimar tree, and it sits above the Primero and then the Tesoro on the Ford. 4 models in the range, and this one has a very interesting layout that is ideal for couples, as we'll see later on. Now, Benimar motorhomes are of course imported by Marquis Leisure and sold through their branches around the UK. And in theory, this model comes on a 140 horsepower manual gearbox Fiat Ducato, priced at $82,995. But for the 2026 season, there is the inevitable pack. For just £95, you get an upgrade from 3,650 kilo chassis to 4.4 tonnes, so plenty of payload. You get an upgrade from 140 horsepower to 180 horsepower with the automatic transmission, 8 speeds. Then you get roof air conditioning, habitation air conditioning, you get a bike rack, you get an awning, and you get a Trackstar tracking system, security tracking system with a year's subscription. All that lot is worth over 12 grand, and you're getting it for 95 quid. So this vehicle is £83,090. And in typical Marquis style, everything you see here is included in that 83 grand price tag. So the black cab, the alloy wheels, the full LED headlights and the front fog lights, all included in the spec. And as we'll see later on, it's a high spec cab too. And as far as dimensions are concerned, well, it's 6.95 metres long, 2.3 metres wide and 2.89 metres high. And it's also built to a full UK specification, with a habitation door on our near side, and it's also NCC approved, National Caravan Council approved. And if we take a look down the near side, well, you'll see how the habitation body has been smoothly joined in with the Fiat cab. I do like the way the black and the white have been integrated too, apart from this odd white line, looks like a pinstripe. I wish they could just make that bit black, but that's me being pernickety. Windows are nice framed ones. You've got your Truma boiler vent there. Now it's a Truma Combi 6E, so gas and electric, and the more powerful 6 kilowatt one. Then you've got your external gas barbecue point. We'll come to the garage later on, and you've got these new style rear lights, which have been inherited from the Tesoro range. And then if we continue down the offside, you've got your reversing camera, second garage door. Underneath at the back here, you've got a nice simple T-handle for emptying your grey waste. Now, the freshwater tank is inboard, great for winterisation, that's 100 litres. Your wastewater tank is underslung, that's 105 litres. There's your freshwater filler. You've got your Teleco TV aerial on the roof, and then your gas locker here at the front. But the one thing I did notice, lovely framed window, odd caravan style window. Don't think I've ever seen that before. And then, of course, there's the garage. It has a nice strip light all the way across. It has 12 volt and 230 volt sockets over on the near side and a heater vent. And it has one of these things. Do you remember when motorhomes used to have spare wheels? Well, with a 4.4 tonne chassis, you don't have to worry so much about payload. Up here, in this odd contraption, you have panels to make the lounge into a bed and a cushion to help with that process too. And you also have a table. Now, you'll be ever so grateful of the table being in the garage when it is hailing and snowing outside and you sit down for dinner and remember where the table is. Hey ho. But you have internal access into your garage and dimensions. Well, it's not the widest garage, 80 centimetres at most, but here at either end it is up to 1.3 metres high, so very generous garage height. And that generous payload I keep talking about, with the premium drive pack, it's 1,211 kilos. So that was a quick tour of the outside. Time to go in because it's starting to rain. Should show you that the habitation door is linked to the central locking. You can hear it trying to lock, but not lock. It's obviously raining because I mentioned the table, but this is a Spanish motorhome, and well, you should remember the old rhyme, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the motorhome journalist. Now, in my hurry to get out of the rain in the changeable weather I forgot to mention that there is a 200 watt solar panel on the roof. The Leisure battery is 100 amp hour AGM, not lithium I'm afraid. And the body construction is described as 99% wood free. There's 25mm XPS insulation in the walls, but 53mm in the roof and the floor. Generous thickness there. It's grade 3 insulation standard, of course. When you come in, you've got a simple control panel by the door and also the Truma control panel fitted at a jaunty angle, so I guess somebody on the production line maybe had too much sangria. It also reckons it's 26 degrees in here, which it certainly isn't, or I'd probably be filming in my pants, which you wouldn't want to see. What you do want to see though is this lounge, which is huge. Look at all this space. Now you've got big overcab sunroof that opens. You've got windows on either side and they're different sizes and at different heights. This one's bigger and lower, a more private view over on the near side, and that means the backrest heights are different too. You've got scatter cushions as well. Cab seats are a little higher because you have got this stepped floor, but it is a lovely big space to relax in. Over on the wall there, you've got an Avtex TV, 22-inch screen. I'm not sure whether that's part of the standard spec or not. You do get the bracket, and that is height adjustable. What else can I tell you? Well, you've got new upholstery, a new look this year for the Mileo range. New colour for the wood, as I say, new upholstery, a lighter, brighter interior, a bit more modern than it was last year. And, well, plenty of space to sit back and relax with your latest issue of MMM, which not only has reviews of lots and lots more vans than we can possibly cover on video, but also so many ideas on places to go. Well, I particularly fancy Luxembourg, having read this issue. There's plenty of lighting with these strip lights in the base of the drop-down bed and spotlights over the cab, but none of it is directionally adjustable and there aren't any specific reading lights. You've got main sockets and USBs on the B posts at the back of the cab there on either side. But then storage is quite limited under the seats because you've got the boiler at the front over on that side, the freshwater tank underneath where I'm sitting here, and of course the gas locker intrudes under where my feet are. But plenty of storage in the back half of the motorhome, as we'll see later on. Now, the motorhome testing gods are smiling on me because I've been to get the table and it's not raining. But joking aside, there is a big advantage in having this type of table. It feels so much more spacious in here when the table isn't here. And of course, being a freestanding table, you can use it outside as well. You don't have to carry another table. And then, well, it's nice and sturdy. It's a really good size for dining. You could invite your friends in and have dinner, and they won't spill their soup. But whoever has to get the table needs to go to the gym. This is heavy. Should mention before we move on that the forward-facing travel seat for two has Isofix, but it's at the back of this Mileo 286 that things are a little different. We've seen plenty of these 7-metre drop-down bed motorhomes that have a huge washroom across the back of the vehicle and partly over the garage. But this one puts more emphasis on the kitchen, still has a good washroom, which we'll see on the offside. But look at the extra kitchen space that you get. Lots of useful worktop, and again, very much specified for the UK market. So you've got 2 gas rings, a mains hot plate, a combined oven and grill, and a microwave. Now, that's branded Tesla, but I have no idea whether that's anything to do with Elon Musk. Let's hope not. The kitchen comes with a removable draining board for the sink. This 2026 model has gone all trendy with its black taps and black handles. Of course, you've got that roof air conditioning above, and the top lockers are neat. You just press them to release the catch, and then good top storage up there. There's 2 main sockets at the end of the kitchen. Your cooker comes with an extractor hood. Now, most of the low-level storage is cupboards rather than drawers, but you have got a good-sized cutlery drawer, and under that, an even larger drawer there. And as if there wasn't enough worktop space, I've added this little flap now on the end, which gives you even more preparation and serving space. Over on the offside, you've got your tall fridge. It's 142 litres and it's automatic energy selection, so it works off 12-volt gas or mains. And down at floor level, you've got another drawer because there's this sort of false floor area in front of the fridge. Down at the back of the motorhome, you've got even more storage for all your tinned and packet foods. That's a full height unit. Now, I did wonder if they could cut that to half height and have the table slide in there, but there's an idea for you Benimar designers. And then a really generous wardrobe over the top of the garage here, and if you're not tall enough to reach in, there's 2 steps, and now even the far corner of the shelves should be accessible. Of course, with those steps folded up, you've also got internal access into the garage. And finally, on this side, you've got a full height mirror. I am looking beautiful today, aren't I? And these little Benimar B coat hooks. And then there's the washroom, which, despite not going all the way across the back, as in some rivals, it's still a really good size. Plenty of room on the loo, plenty of room to use the basin. You've got opening window and a roof vent. Oddly, that's over the toilet area, not over the shower, but the shower has a drying rail for wet gear. It has a little shelf on the wall for your shampoo and so on, your lotions and potions. Your shower tray has 2 outlets, and it's a good sized shower. I used that this morning, it's all good. More of those little bee hooks for your robes and towels and so on. Yeah, it's a really good space. And these mirrored cupboards, the top even have little fiddle rails. And then this is a changing room as well, because you've got another wardrobe. So we've seen a great kitchen, lots of storage and a lovely lounge. But of course, you also need somewhere to sleep, and there's no fiddling about with cushions in this van, because you just press a button and the bed comes right down low, and it is 1.9 metres by 1.38 metres, or 6'3" by 4'6", and it's just 86 centimetres off the floor, so you don't need a ladder. You have a strip light above. You could always open the over cab sunroof or this big roof light to the rear for ventilation, and I slept very comfortably here last night. Yes, you do have to remove the backrest cushions off the two sofas before you lower the bed, and it is limited to 230 kilos. But Peter, I know what you're saying. What about those panels and the extra cushion you saw in the garage? Well, you can use this as a full berth. So, after adding those panels and the cushion and moving things around, you can make a large and remarkably flat, actually, double bed down here. It's 2.16 metres long, or 7'1" by 1.35 metres wide. At its narrowest here, that's 4'5", and headroom isn't too bad either. But on the other hand, up here I've lost headroom. Well, tell the grandchildren it's a two-berth. You can take them out for the day because you've got rear travel seats. But this van works so much better for two than for four. So, driving this Mileo 286, and I think this is 10,322 Ducatos that I've driven now. I'm only joking, of course. A lot of motorhomes are based on the Fiat Ducato. It's very familiar. This dashboard, it might have changed colour and a few details, but it hasn't changed a lot in a very, very long time. But you do have the latest tech on this one. You've got the digital instrumentation. Now this isn't Fiat screen, it's a Pioneer screen, 9-inch display, but it's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so everything you need. Your digital dash gives you traffic sign recognition, so it tells you the speed limit in the display there. Not always accurate, those, in my experience, but I suppose it helps to stop you speeding. You've got adaptive cruise control too, so you can set that when you're on the motorway and just cruise along, and if somebody slows in front of you, then your vehicle should slow too. On the comfort side, well, you've got armrests on both seats, height adjustment, and crucially you've got the digital air conditioning, not just the on and off. You've also got things like pre-collision assistance, hill assistance, and lane keeping as well, which wasn't too intrusive on the motorway on the way here. You can see we've got the lovely weather back, but we do have automatic lights and wipers as well. Of course, we've got the 180 horsepower engine, which we won't be stretching as we go down Broadway High Street. It cruises along quite comfortably, but it didn't feel particularly brisk, but then it has only got 500 miles on the clock, and the automatic gearbox, as always with these Fiats, is lovely and smooth. These seats are recovered rather than retrimmed, which doesn't look quite as nice They can get a bit baggy in time, but we'll see how that goes. Well, we would do if we were keeping it for longer. And the main thing, or the main downside, is that there are quite a few rattles. Now, you haven't noticed that going up Broadway High Street because it's nice and smooth, but a lot of British roads seem as if they come out of the third world now, and well, you're just starting to hear, hear a few rattles now. The most disappointing aspect of the motorhome, actually, because as we'll see when we conclude, there's a lot to like in this van. So, time to sum up and remind you that these videos are brought to you by outandaboutlive.co.uk, and please don't forget to like, and very important, please subscribe to the channel. Now, verdict. Well, there is a lot to like in this van, isn't there? This really spacious lounge is very, very nice. Washroom's good, kitchen is excellent, and all that storage at the back with the garage and the twin wardrobes, plenty of kitchen storage too. It drives well, it's got a good spec, so what don't I like? Well, I won't be going outside to get the table while the weather is like this. It's not Spanish weather for this Spanish motorhome, is it? And I don't like those rattles. But apart from that, this van has a lot of spec. I know 80 odd grand is a lot of money, but these days, for this spec, it looks pretty good value to me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, more motorhome reviews coming along on this channel very soon. This video is sponsored by Safeguard, specialist insurance for your motorhome.